Hi, I'm Max Spainhour.
And I'm Troy McCormick. Welcome to Indiana Outdoor Adventures. Indiana Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Wind River Outfitters, Idaho's finest guide service; Voluforms, one of the Midwest's leading providers of print products and services; Maston's Deer Scents; Hillbilly Custom Game Calls; the Deer Age Tool app; Hunter's Safety System; and Fire Knock, the most advanced lighted knock. Hi, I'm Troy McCormick, and today's Indiana Outdoor Adventures, it focuses on limestone, a natural resource found in southern Indiana that is renowned worldwide. Now, Salem limestone, which is more or less quarried mostly in the Bedford Bloomington area, is made up of the 97% calcium carbonate remains of marine animals that were deposited in a shallow sea 300 million years ago. Now, all these remains of shells were compressed and ended up creating limestone. It's got beautiful coloring. It's a buff color, it's a light gray color, and it comes in a variegated color. But what's really exciting about this particular limestone is it's considered a free limestone, which means that it has no natural plane of fracture or breakage. And so that means that you can carve it, you can cut it, you can sculpt it, you can put it on a lathe, and you can turn it and shape it. And because of that, limestone is used for all kinds of architectural purposes on buildings such as the Carnegie Library building back here behind me, courthouses throughout the state of Indiana, buildings all over the United States, including the Empire State Building, the Pentagon. Just incredible architectural capabilities when you can carve it. Statues and obelisks and monuments can all be created out of this because it can be carved and shaped. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go find out how they get this limestone out of the ground, and then we're going to go find out how it gets from the quarry into the mill and how they turn it into the architectural elements. And we want to find out more about limestone, a natural resource here in Indiana. We're here today at the Independent Limestone Company, a quarry in southern Indiana. Brian, tell me a little bit about what you guys do here.
We quarry for dimensional stone. What we'll do, we'll start off with our stripping and stuff up on the upper parts of the ledge there. We'll take the dirt off, and then we'll strip the rough top. We'll
remove that overburden material off of there.
All the overburden. And once we get down into our solid stone there, we'll come in there with our saws. We'll set our tracks up and get the sizes of our saws, on our tracks that we want to cut our cuts. And then once we get our cuts made, we'll come back in with our hammers and drills and our splitters, and then we'll turn the cuts over and put it into block sizes.
And the idea is to get blocks of limestone.
Limestone.
And what size blocks? I mean, these are huge blocks.
It just varies from the orders, from order to order. We'll get some blocks 10 foot long, 12 foot long, 6 foot long. It just whatever they make on the panels or whatever they need to use at the mills.
And how do you cut stone?
We cut them with a Myers saw. It's the saw right down here you see them behind us.
Right.
And we set them up on the tracks, and they got the diamond tips on the blades, and they'll just go through it and we'll program the saws and let them cut all day long.
And these are kind of like, they look like big chainsaw blades.
Yeah, yeah.
And you program them and they just drop down to the rock and they cut at a certain rate and speed?
Yeah, you can program them to cut as fast, pretty fast is what you need them to do. They'll cut up 3 or 4 inches a minute. In some places, depending on your stone, how soft it is, they'll cut a little faster.
Yeah. Now, to get the stone away, you have to blast that off the rock face?
Just off the overburden, yeah, we blast it.
And how do you do that? I mean, is it drilling down?
Yeah, we drill down, load it, and shoot it. with dynamite.
You load it and shoot it with dynamite. I just kind of like that idea. You know, you're blasting the rock face, and it isn't a huge blast. It just kind of splits it from the rock.
No, we have to shoot it fairly lightly because we don't want to damage the stone that's down underneath the good stone.
Because that's what you're going to keep.
That's what we got to have. Right?
That's right. And then so, if we think about how this was historically done, they still blasted the rock.
Right.
But do you know anything about how the sawing was done back then?
They used to use channel machines back in the older days, and
yeah.
they used wire saw wires. You know, back when I come in '79, they still had the channel machines in progress. We used to have derricks, you know, to set the cuts out with and stuff.
Yeah.
But anymore, we use loaders and set it on the trucks with our loaders.
And it's kind of computerized, running the saws now.
Yeah, everything's computerized. It's all automated, and it's really a good setup.
What are the kind of the general, the fine uses of your customers' orders? Where do these big blocks go to? Do they go, because you do some milling here.
We do some milling here, yeah.
Okay, and you send out to other mills?
We send out to mills all around.
Okay,
yeah.
And then they'll carve it, shape it, and use it for architectural uses?
Yeah, they put it on buildings, they put it on some of the stair treads and stuff. You know, they use it on out there around pool sides for our flagstone and stuff like that. You know, they ship it a little bit everywhere.
Okay. Do you get into any aggregate type of work?
Yeah, we do 53s and 2s. We put it through our crusher from our overburden and stuff like that there.
Go ahead and tell me how the crusher works then.
Once we get our dirt taken off, we put our blast off in there. We'll haul it over to the crusher. They'll run it through the crusher. We got a small crusher and a bigger crusher. Small crusher feeds the big crusher, and it turns it into gravel. It turns into 53s and 2s is what we
53s and 52s is kind of what you see on a county road.
53s and 2s.
And 2s, okay.
Yeah.
Is what you see. Now, what about more of like slope stabilization, riprap you see around reservoirs and lakes?
We don't do any of the riprap or anything like that. We do have some what we call shot rock. You know, it's just a little bit bigger than that we sell some, you know, once in a while.
So if we think about it, the process of getting the rock out of the ground hasn't changed a whole lot. We're still drilling down. In fact, when you drive through a road cut, you can see the drill marks where they've drilled down through, placed their charge, blasted that rock. We're still doing that.
Still doing it.
But there's been improvements in the way we cut it and then get it into the mill where there's big changes in equipment that go on there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of change over the years, you know, in the quarries itself, plus the mills, you know, that everything's so much modern technology and it's just so much faster today.
How big of an operation do you guys have here?
We're 500 acres plus.
Okay. Number of employees?
We've got about 34 employees.
That's a pretty good sized operation then.
Yeah, it's not bad.
With the economy the way it is, has you been staying pretty steady work?
We've been doing pretty good right now, yeah.
I always like to hear that.
Yeah.
Indiana
me
company
too.
still moving along, weathering the storm, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, well good. Now, you're just one quarry in the Bedford Bloomington area.
Right.
How many quarries are there for this kind of block stone?
There's probably 5 or 6 quarries around in the area in Lawrence County, Greene County, and Monroe County. There's few quarries around.
What is it about the oolitic limestone that everybody wants to have? I mean, from the Washington Monument, the state capitol here, and why does everybody want this stone from southern Indiana?
Well, it's a beautiful stone to start with, and it just lasts forever. You know, you can make beautiful carvings, it makes beautiful buildings. It's just, you know, when you put it up, they put it up and it stays forever. You know, it's a beautiful stone.
And it's got a look.
It's got
if
its
people
own
know
look,
Indiana limestone.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing else that looks like Indiana limestone.
Hi, Jim Donlin here from Westside Bait and Tackle in downtown Indianapolis. We are one of the oldest and best stocked bait shops in Indiana. Since 1951, we've offered a large selection of live baits, including minnows, night crawlers, bee moth, and more, all at a low, low price. We have a complete selection of name brand rods, reels, lures, and tackle. We also have a full-service rod and reel repair center, so stop on in and see us soon.
For more information, go to www.westsidebaitshop.com.
Looking for adventure? Marengo Cave has it all. Explore the underground wonders of Marengo Cave with our 2 easy walking tours, or go on an adventurous cave exploring trip with hard hats and lots of mud. Kids will love discovering gemstones at the Cave Springs mining flume. This U.S. National Natural Landmark has been open to the public since 1883 and provides breathtaking views of underground cave formations. Visit us online at marengocave.com and plan your visit today.
Lawrence County is an unexpected destination found in the heart of southern Indiana rolling hills, offering recreational landscapes, a rich limestone heritage, and unique outdoor experiences. This area is limestone country, well known for limestone quarries and stone carving heritage. It's also the home of Spring Mill State Park, geocaches, the scenic East Fork of the White River, and underground caverns. Plan your adventure at limestonecountry.com or call 800-798-0769.
Well, as you can see, we're out here in a quarry, and I'm with the prettiest person here. This is Michelle Kirkman.
Because I'm the only woman here.
Only woman here, that's true. She wears a variety of hats. She has been our guide today, getting us into a lot of places, and we surely appreciate it.
You're welcome.
If you would tell us a little bit about what you do, what you offer, and who you work for.
Well, we own a company called Half Moon Limestone Products, and we kind of take it the whole full circle of the spectrum here. We take it and make gift products out of it. We don't do any of the building stone or the aggregates. We make like your coasters, your clocks, Christmas ornaments, that kind of thing. And we also offer tours. I think in 2007 I started Elite Tours.
Elite Tours.
And decided that people need to be able to get into quarries and learn about this. It's too cool to miss it out. So that's what we started. We've kind of combined them now. It's really all under Half Moon, but
all under Half Moon.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed you hooked us up with the right people today. We've been to a lot of places as we're going to see here on the show, but right now we're out at a quarry in Bedford, Bloomington. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We was in Bedford.
We were, yeah.
And you actually we've been out here looking at all the work that's being done, but the only way we got in here was through you.
Right.
And these gracious people that allowed us to.
Good people here at Independent, yeah.
At Independent. This is unbelievable.
It is, isn't it?
Yes.
You have a whole new appreciation now, don't you?
Yeah, and I hope our viewers have a new appreciation of what really goes into getting one little coaster.
That's right.
Or a big column.
That's right.
You know, and people ought to look around. You know, this place is known as the limestone capital of the world.
Absolutely.
And we've had a lot of government buildings that are on it. Somebody said look at the Pentagon, and that's right here, right?
Washington National Cathedral, when the Pentagon was bombed in the 9/11 attack, that stone came from this quarry.
Really?
That they repaired that with, yeah.
Unbelievable.
So that's pretty cool.
That's unbelievable. So the industry here is big for the area. Tell us a little bit about what it does for the area to have companies like this here.
Well, it provides jobs for one, and a lot of times for generations. A lot of times the guys, once they start working in a stone industry, it kind of seems like it gets in their blood, and then they have sons and they come in it, and it just keeps going. So for years, I mean, you'll have maybe 3 generations sometimes that have worked in the stone industry.
Well, and I think that's awesome. And I also talked to Brian a little earlier, superintendent here at this quarry, and these jobs are not low-paying jobs. They're good-paying jobs.
And they earn every bit of it, as
I
you've seen
guarantee
today,
you.
yeah.
I look down here and see these guys baking on this rock. They definitely do earn it.
Yes, they do. And it's also good for tourism, really, because from my side of it, we pull a lot of people in that are just wanting the educational aspect of it and want to learn about limestone and what it's made out of and why it is important. So, I mean, it's a full circle.
Well, you're on the Chamber of Commerce also.
I am. I got a new job just recently. I'm the executive director of the Mitchell Chamber of Commerce, and thrilled with that.
Oh, I think that's great. So this kind of runs hand in hand. You're doing everything you can to inform all the people.
Yep.
And that's what we do as a TV show. We're trying to inform everybody in Indiana and some in Kentucky about what we do, what Indiana has to offer.
And it has a lot to offer,
Oh,
doesn't
it has unbelievable amount to offer.
Yeah.
And this is just a portion of it, but what a great portion it is to know that the tentacles from here reach far and wide, worldwide, with the stone that's coming out of here.
It really does. You can literally go all over the world and find stone that's either from Lawrence or Monroe County 1.
Yeah, and we should say that Lawrence and Monroe.
Sure. If anybody wants to take a tour and come out and learn more about the stone industry, they can call me, call Half Moon Limestone Products. And if you have 10 or more, we can set up a tour, because I have to rent a bus to do that. I have to contain everybody in one vehicle. I can't just bring a caravan of cars in. And we try to keep the stone companies happy, and that's kind of one of their rules. And so we can do that. If you got 10 or more, we'll set up a tour for you.
And how do they go about contacting you?
They can call me at 812-279-0024, and I'll be glad to help you.
Give Michelle a call. She'll take you on a trip that I guarantee you'll appreciate.
Life Essentials in Brookston, Indiana provides the products you need to become more independent. Products like our Journeyman wheelchair provide all-terrain access for the hunter and all-around outdoorsman. Every year, thousands of people are born with or acquire disabilities. Whether your special needs are for residential, commercial, agricultural, or just enjoying the outdoors once again, we customize our lifts and mobility products to fit your needs. We're raising you to new heights. Call today and we'll work with you to take back your life.
Here at White House Whitetails, after 20 years of growing trophy bucks, we have developed a product called Buck Bullets, a hybrid supplement.
Buck Bullets is not only designed to be an excellent attractant, but also a fully loaded supplement to improve antler growth and health of your deer herd. It can be used in your backyard wooded area or in your hunting area.
You too can add at least 10 to 20 inches of antler to bucks in your hunting area the first year with Buck Bullets fully loaded hybrid supplement. The Old Goat Trading Post in Bloomingdale, Indiana offers not only traditional fur hides, hats, and mountain man-like apparel, but beautifully crafted spirit hides. Artistically sculpted from elk, moose, deer, and buffalo hides, they are the perfect wall hanging for your home or vacation cabin. The shaved hair sculpture and original painted scenes combine to create a natural canvas and work of art. Visit www.oldgoattrading.com for more information.
Welcome back to Indiana Outdoor Adventures.
Now that we've seen where the stone comes from, we're going to go to a mill, a limestone mill, where they take the stone and work at their magic to turn it into the blocks of limestone we see both architecturally in buildings or in furniture that you might see out in your landscapes, garden area. Obviously, your normal Indy 500 car is not what you would expect to see, but they do some very precision work here. And this is one of their little pet projects. Let's go find out a little bit more about how to turn limestone into something a little bit more recognizable that we would see both architecturally and commercially. Joining us today is Matt Bruce. Matt, tell me a little bit about architectural stone sales and what kind of work you guys do here.
Architectural stone sales, we fabricate Indiana limestone.
Okay.
We don't have a quarry, and I understand you guys have just returned from a quarry, so we buy raw material. What we're standing in front of is called a mill block. We truck those in, and then it'll go to the saw that is behind your camera, and according to how many tickets we have, what pieces that we need, they'll be slabbed up. Prior to having the block saw that's behind the camera, we had to pay another company to slab all of our stones for us. So it was a huge money savings when you get over the initial investment of buying a block saw. Now that it's paid for, we can do our own slabs.
Because you can't do much with it when it's this big.
Absolutely, unless you're doing something
big stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, you need to slab it to get it into usable sizes.
Exactly.
Okay.
What they'll do is our saw foreman, planer foreman Brad Bundy, will have his tickets, and if you've got a ticket for something that's supposed to, a finished product will be 7 5/8, he might have it cut 7 3/4. Okay. He'll do it about 1/8 of an inch big. That way, if any chips or if it's warped at all, we can put it on a planer, and they can plane it, and it'll be right size, top and bottom. It'll be net.
Tell me just a little bit about the saw itself. I mean, is it diamond? Is it carbide? We saw the banded saw going around, and we're using a lot of water. What's going on there?
Well, the belt saw, I think the original belt saw was just a rope, basically, with diamond inlaid, and they did a great job of roughing the stone out, but you couldn't go very fast. If you tried to go fast, it would warp because it wasn't solid. Now they've come up with I think you saw the block saw in there. It's about 1.5 foot bar, and there's a rope that runs in a track almost like a chainsaw.
Right.
And it's diamond inlaid. They use the water not only to cool the rope or the blade, but also to keep the dust down.
Okay.
A lot of people think that the water is only to cool the blades, and it's really not. A lot of it's to keep that dust down.
Because there is a lot of dust on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand on that particular saw, they've got a 4.5 inch per minute that saw is moving its way down through that limestone.
Right. And have you ever seen a gang saw? The gang saws where they used to put 7 or 8 or 9 blades, metal blades that would run. All they did was reciprocate through the limestone. It made a huge, a roaring sound, and it was slow. Maybe an inch an hour, maybe.
Wow. Yeah.
So it really, I think the most innovations in the stone industry have been in the quarry and getting the blocks to the mill quicker and in better shape than what what they could when they had the old channeling machines, and they had a wire running all the way through the woods, and they actually poured sand into it. And now they have like chainsaws. I think I don't know that much about quarry, but
okay.
that is what I understand how they do that.
Once you've got the stone slabbed out, you're going to move it into the building where they're going to do all kinds of work with it.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about we've seen a circular saw. Tell me a little bit about what the difference of the saw is and the planer.
Well, the saw is prepping the stone for the planer. When you have this mill block, which will be sliced this way, after it comes off the block saw, they'll lay it flat. So now you have like a stack of bread, but it's laying on its end. They'll take those in, put them on a saw bed, turn them long ways, and then let's say you have a bunch of pieces that are, if we're doing window sills that are 4 or 5 inches thick, he'll run strips of those, and he's not only cutting, you know, a cut here, and a cut here, but he's also cutting through that stack because it's stacked this way. So he's getting 6, 8, 10, 12 pieces
with one cut.
With one cut.
Okay.
And then after it goes to there, they'll stack that up in preparation to put it on a planer. And then depending on what that stone gets, some pieces, if it's just a square or a rectangular piece, they'll just do what they call bedding it down, which is what I said in the beginning. Right. They'll just graze the top and graze the side and put the slick finish on it. From there it'll go to the skidway, where they'll, depending on what it gets, usually they'll just sand it smooth, rub the edges, put anchor slots and dowel holes in it, whatever the ticket will call it for.
Right now, and if we want a little bit nicer, smoother finish without any ripples in it or anything, it's going to move to the planer. And the planer is really, what do you call that? Blade is just cutting away, leveling it, much like you would on a wood planer.
Right, right. The thing is, on a wood planer, the blade is moving. On a stone planer, the stone is moving, the blade is stationary. Now they can put, there's all kind of shapes, sizes, wash tools that you can put. I mean, they do, I think in 2 runs they can do the state of Indiana, the little plaque maps. Right. Our bench legs are all done on a planer. Anything that we can do on a planer to get the stone closer to being finished, the better off we are. Okay. Let's say we're doing a bunch of archways around windows. Okay. If that radius is the same, even if the length is different, if the radius is the same, we can put that piece on a planer and plane that radius on there, and then slice it like bread, give it to us stone cutters, and then we already have the radius. It saved us a bunch of time. We put our patterns on the ends and run that mold work through that radius. If we don't do that, if the radius changes, what we'll have to do is start with a rectangle, lay the radius pattern on it, and actually saw by hand that radius.
After serving our country, serious injury shouldn't prevent our veterans from enjoying life. Paralyzed Veterans of America works with veterans to ensure that their health care and benefit needs are met, provides assistance with career needs, and offers challenging and rewarding activities. The Kentucky and Indiana chapter of PVA is proud to provide adaptive sports for members that includes hunting, fishing, trap and skeet shooting, bowling, and billiards. Visit us online to learn more about Paralyzed Veterans of America. Cave Country Canoes, located in the heart of Indiana's Cave Country, offers a variety of canoe rental trips from half-day outings for beginners to 2-day adventures for the more experienced enthusiast. Our canoe trips follow the gently meandering Blue River through the wooded hills of southern Indiana. Abundant wildlife and great fishing opportunities abound. Go to cavecountrycanoes.com for more information about our canoe and kayak trips. Your next adventure is just a paddle away. Follow Indiana Outdoor Adventures online with Facebook, Twitter, and our website. Stay up to date with our exciting adventures as we're out in the field filming and meeting new people. From news updates and announcements to Twitter posts by co-host Troy McCormick. Why wait until the next season of shows when you can follow us as we're filming them? Join us online to get the most current news on Indiana Outdoor Adventures. Tell me just a little bit, Matt, about some of the finished products that come out of architectural stone sales. What exactly? Do we have rough finish for building faces, facades? We have columns that we've seen. What are your major products that you're making here?
19 years ago, panels were our big thing, and that today our boss would much rather do panels. You get a lot of cubic feet very quickly, not very time consuming at all. I've heard a lot of mill owners say they'd like to get out of the cut stone business and just do panels. Here's the problem: there's not that many big panel jobs, and the jobs that there are mills that are better equipped to do panels than we are. I'll probably get in trouble for saying that.
But for quantity-wise, they're bigger operations.
They're bigger operations. Right. They can get it out quicker. Here, I think our niche, and it would be to my boss's chagrin, we do an excellent job, high quality cut stone. We do it very quickly. We're very accurate, and we pride ourselves on the customer getting what they want when they want it. And if something doesn't fit, if we have any kind of a problem, they'll send me in a pickup truck with an air compressor. We do columns. We own one of the biggest lathes probably in the country. It's in the mill behind you. We haven't had it operational yet. It's all ready to go, except for hooking it up. But I believe it came from a paper mill.
So it's even bigger than the one we did see.
It'll turn the columns like you see on the back of a penny. I think that 30-something foot.
And the big memorial type columns.
Exactly. We've not used ours. We do have a lathe. We do a lot of balusters. I think they're turning columns today. We do a lot of window sills, and honestly, we've done quite a bit of carving in the last 5 years. We've turned, since the economy has sort of turned south. Now, I say that we've not had any layoffs. We've been very blessed to not
still have the orders coming.
Exactly. You see people losing their homes, and God bless them. We've been able to stay busy, but we've also switched our business around a little bit where we're taking a lot of small jobs that in a booming economy we might not take. We're doing a lot of residences. Canada is booming right now, so our dollar is cheaper, so they can buy more stone.
Now, the company's name has the word architecture in it, architectural. Are you doing a lot of like courthouses and banks where you see a lot of architectural limestone?
Yes, in fact, we just did a courthouse. I spoke to you last week about those medallions with the lady justice on.
Yep.
I did 2 lady justices. They were like 3-foot circles, 3.25-inch relief, and they went to a courthouse representing justice. Or lack thereof.
Well, obviously Indiana limestone is well known, not throughout the state, but throughout the nation.
Right.
And there's Indiana limestone all over Washington and Indianapolis and courthouses all over the state and the region. So it's nice to know that we've got an Indiana company using Indiana material, Indiana-made, Bedford-made equipment in here, and still going strong.
Watch your television. Watch Law & Order, watch any shows in Washington, look in the background, you'll see limestone. In every picture, you'll see limestone.
It's that good, light gray, oolitic limestone from Bedford, Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Matt, thanks a lot for your time today. Appreciate
it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us on our Limestone Adventure. We'll see you next time, right here on Indiana Outdoor Adventures.